Hello everyone, this is Holly Cooper, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about the parenting community, about what they care about, what's important to them, what platforms they use, and other fun things like that. So let's take a look. Now some of these popular topics are going to be based on the community that I'm a part of because that's something that I experience every day. And these are also topics that are important to other communities outside of the one that I'm a part of. But as far as what's popular and what determines that, I'll get into that more towards the end. And the people in the parenting community are on all kinds of different social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. They're all over the place, but the ones that I'm going to focus on today are Facebook, Twitter, and babycenter.com, which also has a mobile app. So some popular topics that I found were breastfeeding, shots, baby wearing, sleep schedule, and pregnancy and labor. So the first one I'm going to talk about is breastfeeding. And some things that are important to the people who are talking about breastfeeding include things like how to increase milk supply, what equipment to use, so it'd be like breast pumps and that sort of thing, baby adjustment, getting the baby used to breastfeeding, getting your body used to breastfeeding, and as well as questions about breastfeeding. Selling breast milk is an actual thing. People also donate breast milk to women who can't produce but want their baby to have those nutrients. And then there's breastfeeding versus bottle feeding. Now, as far as which one is better, it's going to depend on who you're talking to and what their opinion is. But these are all things that people are talking about on these social media platforms. So I did a social mention search for breastfeeding. And when I did this particular search at that time, there were 378 mentions of the topic. You can see the the 5 most recent at the time were all on Twitter. And here's an example of a community talking about breastfeeding. This is a post on Facebook in a group about increasing your breast milk supply, and there's a recipe, there's a drink recipe, and I think like a cookie recipe to help you increase your milk supply. The next topic we're going to talk about is children receiving their shots. Parents want to know the pros and cons. I know when I took my son to get his shots this last time, he had a fever for about a day and a half, and he just was very tired and very blah and was not himself. So there are pros, there are cons. You know, a lot of schools require you to have your shots before you can enroll. Some parents don't want what is in the shots to be put in their children. They don't see a reason for it. Other parents are all for them. So parents want to know what the pros and cons are, what to expect when going to get your shots after you get your shots. What shots are they receiving? What are they preventing? What are they being treated for? And at what ages can they get them? Now, here's another social mention search, vaccinations for children. So here we have some different results other than last time, where the top 5 were all Twitter responses. This one had 189 mentions at the time, and as you can see here, I did this search a day or two ago, so it had been hours since this had been, a popular thing to be talking about. When I did a Twitter search, you can see one of the first things that popped up was Shot at Life, which is something that I didn't know about until Sheridan mentioned. So that's a very cool organization to check out. But you also have people results, and then you have tweets. New measles case, make sure your child's up to date with vaccinations, including your teenagers. Check out the necessary vaccinations your child needs to stay healthy, etc. Next topic is baby wearing. For those of you who don't know what baby wearing is, it's when you are basically wearing your child up close to you. So what parents want to know about this is information about carriers, the different types. There are weight limits on certain carriers, different fabric types, where to get them, pros and cons of baby wearing. Some pros that I've heard have been, a stronger connection with your child. They're less likely to do the A, B, or C. And then cons would be some women not just women, I take that back. Some parents say that, they're afraid it would make their child too needy because they're used to being there with their parent, up close and personal for all that time. So parents want to know pros and cons, as well as personal experience from other users and what their opinion is on the topic, to kind of influence whether or not that's something that they want to try. So I did a baby wearing social mention search. 280 mentions at that time. Once again, some of our top results were in Twitter. And then here's an example of where people in this community can go to find out more information about the baby wearing topic that is important to them. I did a baby wearing search on babycenter.com. They have blogs, community spaces where you can go and just chat. They have all kinds of cool stuff on this website. I used the mobile app during my pregnancy and still check out their website pretty regularly. So you can see the first 3 top results. The first 2 are from the same author. 5 baby carriers for 5 scenarios and 5 reasons I love baby wearing. I think Jennifer I see a lot of her stuff, so I would say she's probably a big influencer in the baby center community. Sleep schedule. This is a fun topic. This is something that parents want to know more about. I think they want to know when to try to start a schedule. Is it actually possible to get your child or your baby on a sleep schedule? Personal experience, tips and advice, and questions on this topic. So I did baby sleeping through the night, and there were 168 mentions at the time. Once again, most of the top results were all in Twitter. Let's see. Trying to transition my baby into crib off the bottle and sleeping through the night. Gonna be one tough month. Hashtag determined, hashtag growing up. And then you see a funny one like, I just got one thing to say, toast with real butter on it is better than the baby sleeping all the way through the night. Booyah. So you get some interesting things when you type in some of these things in social mention. Once again, here's another example of users getting more information about things that are important to them. Here is somebody who wants to know about weaning night feedings to help not only her daughter sleep through the night, but also her sleep through the night, because exhaustion has kind of caught up with her. And somebody mentions the cry it out method, which for those of you who aren't familiar, it's basically when you let your child cry themselves to sleep. And that's another kind of controversial topic, the crying out method, whether or not it's good or not. Much like breastfeeding versus bottle feeding, kind of depends on who you talk to about this topic, as far as what kind of answers you're going to get. So finally, we have pregnancy and labor, and some things that are important to the community on this topic include morning sickness, old wives' tales about gender. I know before we found out we were having a boy, I was obsessed with all these old wives' tales and trying to figure out what we were going to have. Exercising while pregnant, things you can and cannot eat while you're pregnant, inducing labor, personal experience, and questions. So once again, babycenter.com, I typed in pregnancy tips, and there were 4,201 results for pregnancy tips. Over here on the left, you can narrow your search. There are articles, over 4,000 of them, so maybe if you're looking for something in particular, get a little more specific. But there are also tools, videos, slideshows that can help you with this topic. So some things that I've learned, I'd say overall parents want the best for their children. I think that is why parents want to know so much about so many different things. They want to know all of their options before they make a decision, and they want to make the very best decision for their children. What is important may vary from person to person. A child receiving their shots is an important topic to me, but it may not be important to another person on the street. Same thing with breastfeeding. One person is going to, breastfeeding is going to be important to them. Another one, they'd rather just bottle feed. So I think, reviews on different products that they've used, toys, recalls, those kinds of things, all are going to vary based on the person and their family and what they want for their family. You're going to find a wide variety of places to check out information and get opinions online. So I think with this community, there's a wide spectrum of places, information, opportunities for parents to learn more about what is important to them and to be able to share what is important to them. So thanks a lot, everybody. Have a good week.